Yeah,
Patrick,
that seems like the likely candidates.
I mean, I tried to trade Aaron Rodgers.
And we're back. What's
Try
up,
again.
pussies?
Pussy.
So, coming back at you live from our respective domiciles. Look at Mike Smith out there. That guy just knows how to live.
The fucking the
Jesus.
Smith cave out there.
Fucking gorgeous. Denver, gorgeous.
Who's got it better than Mike? He's outside right now, right?
Yeah.
Sitting in front of his
Short sleeves.
fireplace with his grill back there, watching TV outside, while I'm
Mhm.
huddled in my basement with a fucking Papa Shot behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have kids.
Well, shit happens. Yeah.
But we all have kids. Big Cat's got it.
Yeah.
Big Cat's
it
got
was
his lucky
big
hat
mistake. Yeah. Lucky.
Yeah, because I'm
Lucky
so
number
lucky
7.
this season.
It's been a great season. There goes DK Metcalf scoring more points for JoJo again. Off he goes.
Fucking hate
All
that
right.
guy. All right, folks. So
Hey, he gets to
here's
be,
what we got. We are through 10 weeks.
10 weeks in the
10.
books, 3
It
weeks of
seems
regular
like-
season to go.
So we
A
thought we'd
lifetime.
get together and do a pod. We haven't done one in a while. Mostly because I hate fantasy football. Number
Mhm.
2, I'm not doing that well in this league, which is also bullshit.
It's total bullshit. Because
Yeah.
you won the draft.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Preseason champ Derek Gabrielson.
Hey, he's going to win his division. We'll get to that later.
I know.
So we have all kinds of technology coming your way tonight. So we have a PowerPoint presentation filled with good stuff. So this will be different than your normal Zoom calls that you're on all day long, every single day for the rest of your life.
I bet you guys have never seen this. It's called PowerPoint.
Yep. Just like those
Share
Zoom calls,
screen.
I'm not wearing pants right now. So let's dive into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen, and I say we have Dave Smith start talking about the division breakdowns.
Right. So we're each going
Take
to
us home.
cover. We're going to cover a division that we're not in. So in the spirit of, go ahead and crank that, Big Cat.
Wait a second. Oh, fuck. All right. So I got to cover Derek's division like the last time we did divisions. All right. I'm picking him again, just in case you were still wondering. Let's
Big
do
Cat,
this.
are you going to full screen this shit, man?
Yeah, man, you got to go to presentation mode.
Fuck.
There
Have you
bro.
not done any Zoom meetings this
Fuck,
pandemic?
man. Fuck.
I clicked the
All right.
button. It didn't work. What do you want from me? Jesus.
These newfangled
Hey, you-
computers are so complicated.
And our stupid faces are blocking the picture of Donald Ross. But
Fuck.
anyway.
Fuck Donald Ross and fuck you.
No, it's recording our I sent you a picture. We're a little on the side. It just shrinks that
I
window
know,
a little
but
bit.
our little on the side, I think, is blocking the
Okay.
picture I
Right.
spent like 4.5 seconds Googling.
All right. This is fucking riveting, I'm sure, but let's get into the Donald
As
Ross.
far as you know.
So Donald Ross, we got it's a powerhouse division, honestly. Nobody's under 500. You got Hulk Hands up top, then Back Nines Matter and Mapletron both at 6-4. Hulk Hands is 7-3 at the top, and then you got Masters champion DJ Booga Sugar. That's a cocaine joke. 5-5.
Which was flowing on Sunday night, just to be clear.
The memes of the 2021 Masters Champions dinner, where it's just a few lines of white powder, what have you. It's going to be an awesome party. Jealous. So
Try
up
to
top,
get an invite.
yeah, wouldn't let me in. Joe Wallace, Hulk Hands. So he's the only 7-3 team in the league. Joe's just been having a great year. We kind of knew it was going to happen, but he's 7-3. He's the top points in the league. And he's got Dominic and the Beaver Tamers this week. So he's got a big lead in overall points. So even if he falters, he's basically good to go on wild card. He's won 4 in a row, and he's got his division rivals, Back Nines Matter and Mapletron, in his last 2 weeks. So Joe completely controls his own destiny. You have to assume he's going to win this week against Beaver Tamers, and a victory over Back Nines Matter or Mapletron in the next 2 weeks probably locks the division. Most likely locks him in the first overall spot. And then Next you have back nines Matter, Bussing, and Mike. They're both 6-4. Bussing has the lead in points. So that's a pretty good lead that he has over Mike. So Mike is gonna really have to beat him in record. He's got the spunky Lord of the Slum. This is Bussing. He's got Lord of the Slum here in week 11, who's been kind of on a bumpy road here recently. 2-game skid. And then obviously he has Hulk Hands and DJ Booga Sugar in the final 2 weeks. So he controls his own destiny too. He's got to win this week. He knocks off Hulk Hands and he beats Booga Sugar, and he's going to be the division winner. And he'll also at that point get the number 1 seed at 9-4. Mapletron, good team name, by the way. Well done. Show the jersey. People can't see it. It's a Claypool jersey. So Mike is 6-4 also, 9th in total points. So he's got Team Traz in week 11, high scoring, bad record for Traz. So it's no easy feat to get past them. And then he's got Booga Sugar week 12 and Hulk Hands week 13. So again, if Mike goes 3-0, if Mike goes 3-0 and Bussing goes 3-0, Bussing will probably get him on points, but Mike more or less has to win 2 games to get into a wild card spot, probably. And then you have Booga Sugar 5-5, 11th in points, way back in points. He's got Mac Attack, strong team here in week 11, got to win this week. And then he's got Mapletron and back nines Matter in their last 2 weeks. So division games, he could pull even. His points are going to be a problem. So he's fucking on life support right now, but strong division. Can't give it to anybody else except for Hulk Hands. But I mean, most likely there are 3 playoff teams of the 6 coming out of this division. So real murderer's row of teams, but Hulk Hands is in command. He's got the points, he's got the record, he's got the matchup. So that's our Donald Ross division. And I'm going to turn it over to who's doing the next division. Big Cat?
I'll have to because Derek's
Mike
in it.
Smith. So Mike Smith is going to
Okay.
talk here about the Arnold Palma division. So Mikey, talk to us.
Okay, so technically nobody is mathematically eliminated, but this does have the look of a 2-horse race here with Can You Digs It and Sin City Mac Attack at 6-4, Lord of the Slum and Blackleg Craig banging around there at 4-6. It took them a little while to get untracked, but I think Can You Digs It, still has a extremely deep roster at wide receiver, and some of the other position players are kind of starting to figure out where they fit and how to knock out a lot of points every week. He's 2nd in points overall, which gives him, a lead, but not a massive lead over Mac Attack and Lord of the Slum. He's got a little fratricide going this week after I won Brother Bowl last week against Dave, who is literally like one of the only teams my point total would have defeated, which is lovely because I'm on a hardcore skid over the last 5 weeks. But Derek's got Bill Cosby Sleepers, who is like the Team Traz of 2020. I think we'll see on the next slide. I think they're 3rd overall in points. And while they've had some boom and bust weeks, they've had some shitty draws to have the record that they're sitting on. So this is a tough matchup for Can You Digs It. But, as he goes down the stretch, he gets shots at the 2 bottom teams in his division. Doesn't have to face Mac Attack again. And so, I think between the depth on his roster and the good matchups down the stretch, I give him a slight edge over Mac Attack, who, for a 2nd year in a row is just, hanging around on the fringes of the elite teams, has a steady, good, deep roster, a lot of good players to draw from. He's got Booga Sugar this week, so we'll see if the Masters hangover affects Danny Vera. Danny, as Dave said, has to win this week if he's got a good effort in him. Danny and Joe are going to put it forward, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough to get past Mac Attack. So if Andrew knocks off Derek, then Bill's got a leg up, and he has the same pairing of just in reverse order, Blackleg Craig and then Lord of the Slum in the final 2 weeks. So Kenya Diggs it and Sin City Mac Attack, like this week is gonna set an important tone, because I think they have superior rosters really to the other two teams in their division, and each of them face those two teams down the stretch. Lord of the Slum has kind of come on of late. He's posted a nice season total of 6th place overall points. He's got Bussing and Back Nines Matter this week. Bussing's obviously scrapping to try to catch Wallace and stay ahead of me. And so, he's got a tough matchup this week. Brian's been a little boomer bust, and Goldberg's been putting up points lately. So that's not a foregone conclusion. And if he can get the 5 and 6, and, there's a surprise in some of the other games. I mean, if he runs the table mathematically, he can stay in this thing. He's got Kenya Diggs it and Sin City Mac Attack down the stretch too. So if he runs the table, those guys aren't going to go better than 2 and 1 down, as they finish off. And Blackleg Craig, I mean, pulling the zombie here after losing, if I remember correctly, I think he had Barkley, right? And so real early in the season, he loses what ought to be kind of like the cornerstone building block of his team. Struggled for the better part of the year, but I mean, he's on a little run here down the stretch, and he too isn't mathematically eliminated. Now he's way behind Derek in overall points, and really over the other two teams in the conference or division rather. And so he's got to run the table and see a little bit of chaos. But I mean, it's possible. And again, he gets a shot at Kenya Diggs it and Sin City Mac Attack down the stretch. So, he's got matchups to try to close the gap. So this is, I think, one of our, really competitive divisions. The bottom two are going to have to run the table, but it's set up so that they could have a run at it. So we shall see. I'm picking Derek to win the division just because of the depth of the roster, but this is going to be an exciting one down the last 3 weeks. Derek?
All right.
Tell us about Mike Strantz.
All right. Well, that's a killer mustache. That is for sure. All right.
This is like the NFC East of the Pinehurst Dynasty League.
Yeah. It's not good. It is not good. So we got Derry Sanders here, 7th overall in total points. He has Blackleg this week, so that's probably a pretty easy win for him there. But when is White Jesus himself coming back? No one really knows. Is he going to come back
like Tyler
for
Lockett
1 week?
is done. It does not look like we'll be seeing any more of Tyler Lockett tonight.
Yeah, he was banged up to start, so
He already scored a touchdown though.
Had a ugly ankle. So yeah, there you go.
Team Traz is a team I continue to highlight because they're really good. And now that Chubb is back, he is looking like they're going to score lots of points every single week here on out. So if he can get past Mike this week, I think they have a pretty good chance at the division. Bill Cosby Sleepers is 3rd in overall points, which is pretty crazy because he's only 4 and 6. But he has me this week, so he'll probably win because my team is awful. And Beaver Tamers, 2 and 8, playing for next year. He's got some extra picks, probably swiping right now as we're talking.
Well, better luck next year.
So just to be a little different, I'm going to pick Team Traz to win the division. We will see what happens.
I think they'll play like a freight train.
So let's see the playoff picture. Smitty, you want to take over for this one?
Yeah, sure. So, if the playoffs started today, the number 1 seed is Hulk Hands, as we talked about before. He's in a really commanding position for the playoffs with a win. He's got a big lead in the first tiebreaker of total points. So he's likely the number 1 seed with a 2-1 finish down the stretch. He can be caught if he falters, but he's in a power position. He's a power top right now. And Joe is going to clinch the playoffs with 1 win. If he gets to 8 total wins, I just don't see how he doesn't make the playoffs there with the points. And then other teams are just going to struggle to get to 8 wins, especially for those last few wild card spots. So he's going to clinch a bye with 2 wins, and then any losses by Back Nines Matter, Diggs, Mac Attack, and Mapletron. So, all 3 of those teams, I don't think all 3 of them can even go undefeated because Mapletron and Back Nines, you guys play each other, I think. So,
No,
so look.
I think I'm done with bussing. We split.
Oh, all right. Well,
Whatever. Don't worry about it. It's unlikely. It's not going to happen. Joe's going to be our number 1 overall seed, and it'll be very exciting.
I don't know if he's going to be number 1 seed, most likely, but he's definitely going to make the playoffs. I'll be shocked if he doesn't. So, moving on, Mike, you want to talk about Derek here? We already did. I mean, but
yeah, I mean, this is it seems more likely that the winner of the Palmer division, because they're already a game ahead, and because of the way their matchups fall, it's likely that although the Traz brothers could close like a freight train and sneak into that 2nd seed, it's more likely that the Palmer division winner is going to win it. Right now, that's Derek based on points.
Yeah.
All right. So, it's really as simple as it's going to come down to these last 3 weeks. So, Derry Sanders is in the 3rd seed right now, but a lot can change. So, it's probably the closest actual division, in my opinion, that's still up for grabs. So this week, I think, is going to kind of give us the direction where this division is headed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this division, like all the teams, so me and Traz and Andrew can all go from, I could go from the 3 seed to out of the playoffs in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no doubt.
Same with Traz. If they lose 2 in a row, they're out. If Andrew wins 3 in a row, I lose and Traz loses, Andrew's going to win the goddamn division. So it's crazy. But so first wild card spot goes to Sin City Mac Attack. He is the top of the class as far as 6 and 4 teams go, with all those points that he scored. 2 wins, and he guarantees at least a playoff spot. 1 win with all the points that he has likely gets it done too, because once you're under the wild card position, it's total points that gets you in. So any tied records, it's going to be total points. Billy has he's the number 2 scoring team in the league, isn't he? Or is he number 3?
No, Andrew's 3.
I think he's behind the Gabrielsons.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's 4th, but still, the guys. Yeah, so he's pretty good. The 5th seed is Mike.
No, it's bussing, and Back Nines Matter. He's got me on points, and now that we're getting down into the 6 and 4 teams, I mean, if we win again, then Dave and the Traz guys and everybody, I mean, the 5 and 5s have to go 3-0 just to catch us, and get ahead. And so I think bussing's actually in a pretty good spot between matchups and his point total this year.
Is bussing really starting Alex Smith this week?
We'll see. He's scrapping around. He lost Drew Brees, and having looked to the waiver wire to cover Russell Wilson's bye week, there is not a lot on this waiver wire when it comes to starting quarterbacks. So that may be his he may be stuck with that. It could be a tough week.
I wonder if he had a bid in on Jameis Winston.
Famous Jameis.
I mean, we're not talking about games yet, but I have thoughts on that. So we'll talk about it when we get to the games. But Big Cat, where are we at here?
So last to make it right now is Mike Smith, 6 and 4 record. So it really looks like bussing is going to have a hard time this week, which is really good for everyone else in that division because he's been really hot. And it looks like Mike has a pretty good matchup with Team Traz this week.
Not at all. He's got great running backs. I've got none.
So we'll get into that a little bit more.
Okay.
But honestly, I think after the number 1 seed, after Hulk Hands, Like,
Why?
I'm pretty sure all of this is going to change in the next 3 weeks.
Oh, for sure. A lot's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these teams play each other too. And
Mhm.
that's the
Right.
the magic of the schedule, is that so many of these division races that are still up for grabs are going to be decided over the next, well, not this week, but there's no division games this week, but weeks
Yeah, because
12 and
Yeah.
13.
if
No,
Andrew
it's
can
gonna
win
be
this week, then he's got Beaver Tamers the week after that, and then he plays Smitty in the last week. So that last week
Yeah.
game will probably could
yeah. He
determine the
can get
division.
himself to 500. I mean, he's got a path.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got 11 teams that have not yet been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, and Joe is 3 games clear of the 4 and 6 teams as he sits right now. But I mean, nobody else has much breathing room, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so next up we have the in the hunt guys. These are the guys right on the outside looking in. So Team Traz is behind Derry by 1 game in the division, but they can jump into the division lead if they win this week and Derry loses, or if both teams win and then they have a head-to-head in week 12. So if they go 3-0, they're going to get it done and win the division. And the wild shot's a long shot. The wild card is a long shot, but not impossible. They're going to have to get some points on the board in a big way over the next 3 weeks in order to jump into that wild card spot. If they go, say 7 and 6, it's possible, but just not likely. So they got to win. They got to win. That's it.
DJ Booga Sugar, who has a pretty solid team, but I was able to get by him last week. But he's been hot. So if he can catch fire again, he's most certainly not out of this at all. So let's see, he can't win the division because of his division record. So he basically needs to run the table, which would be good for me because he'd beat Mac Attack this week, and then Mapletron and Hulk Hands. So that is kind of a murderer's row of last
It's a
3
tall
weeks.
order.
Yeah, so that's going to be hard to run that table. Even if he starts off 2-0, that last week against Hulk Hands is going to be rough. But
wait a second. This is all fucked up because I have Hulk Hands in the last week, and I mean 3 wins for him gets him to 8-5. If Joe goes 0 for down the stretch, which is impossible and inconceivable and all that, I mean Joe would be 7-6. So something went a little haywire with our editing on this slide, but bottom line.
So DJ Booga Sugar plays Bussing in the last week. You are correct. So not Hulk Hands. He would play Bussing in the last week.
And he could break Bussing's heart like I got to in week 13 last year to win our division in a head-to-head. And Sugar could get there and bump him out of the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
You're gonna have to talk to our research department here.
So
what the hell has Brendan been doing all day?
I don't know.
So we've talked about Andrew quite a bit. I ran through his record or his schedule a minute ago. So like I said, if he can get by me this week, he'll have Beaver Tamers and control his own destiny likely in the last week.
Yeah, that'd be something. So theoretically, Lord of the Slum at 4 and 6 is still alive. He's got to go 3-0. He's got Back Nines Matter, Kenya Digs It, and Sin City. So that's
nasty matchup.
That's not going to work out. So those teams have an 18-12 record with an average of 209 points. He scores okay, 205.9 a week, but just by the law of averages, the probability of him winning all 3 is not good. He's on a 2-game skid. But, he wins out. He gets some good scores in there. There is a possibility of wild card. Unlikely, but it's possible.
And the black leg. I mean, he's got a nasty matchup down the stretch. But I mean, I think tip of the hat to a guy who could have just mailed it in with bunch of bad breaks out of the gate. He has, pulled himself out of the fire, and I think it'll be interesting to see if he can play spoiler as we move toward playoff time. With all these tight races, I mean, a big performance, win some weekly money, and knock off a contender. He's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got a decent team. Lamar Jackson has pretty much let him down this year.
Yeah, for sure.
It's huge. Yeah. I mean, imagine what it would look like if Jackson played like he did last year and Saquon was who we thought he was. It would have been a pretty stacked up roster. So
for sure.
And that brings us to our dear sweet Dom.
Also participated. But so what we got in this? We have.
I mean, let's just note that did he make money this week? Did he finish in the top 4 and still lost this week? I mean, it was like he scored 195 points this week and lost.
Yeah, he started.
That would have beat a
AJ
ton
Green.
of teams. Yeah, and that might have been an error. Although I'm not sure he's got the depth not to start AJ Green with the forward-looking trades he's made.
Yeah, he had that guy on the bench. From Green Bay.
He was out of the money this week, but just by one spot. He was 5th highest.
Yeah, I mean, so bad records and bad breaks. Good guy, bless his heart. We sit down here.
So
Long
anyway,
off the tee.
Yeah. So here it is. It's off kilter, which is going to bother me, but yeah. So you got your winner bracket on the left, so you got your losers bracket on the right, and Hulk Hands and Diggs right now are in line for the buys. So your week 1 playoff matchups would be brother on brother action. Derry Sanders hosting Mapletron, and Bussing and Billy Mack duking it out there for the chance to play in week 15. But again, as we've said many times so far tonight, this is all going to change in a pretty serious way, I think, over the next few weeks. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see how it works out.
Yeah. Well, and, it'll be interesting to see where things net out, record-wise and stuff like that this week with the trade deadline coming up. I mean, is the trade deadline really on – is it on Thanksgiving? Is that what we did?
Yeah, it's kickoff of the 12:30 games.
By not looking at the calendar, we actually set the trade deadline on Thanksgiving while we're trying – yeah. Well, nobody's going doing shit for Thanksgiving. Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, there's football.
Thanksgiving got canceled.
Oh shit.
Fuck. I thought Biden was going to save Thanksgiving.
Can we have a recount on that, please?
This information has been debunked by the fact finders at Snopes. Thanksgiving, in fact, will happen. There's going to be a trade deadline. But I doubt anything.
Well, anyway, you're not going to have a lot of time to think that through, though. So teams are, I think the franchise owners need to start thinking now, or maybe when the scores start materializing on Saturday before Monday night, or Sunday rather, before Monday Night Football, if there are any moves that they want to make, if they think they're a contender or pretender. So put on your thinking caps this weekend, and let's have a little flurry of activity here down the stretch on the trade market.
Yeah, that's going to be a busy Thanksgiving morning too, because we'll have the waivers run at 10, and 2.5 hours later you have the
trade deadline and the kickoff.
But at this point,
and that's
can't.
Steelers Ravens Day too.
That's going to be an awesome game.
Track of which I am one.
I can't see.
Oops. What did that asshole say? Talking shit.
And Mike farted on the pod for a first time. I just, I can't see a massive free agent signing this week. I mean, I got Jameis Winston for $7. I mean, who could possibly be hurt this week that doesn't have their backup already taken? So it's unlikely that there's going to be a big free agent, but you never know. I guess you never know. I mean, somebody paid $13 for Salmon, Ahmed Salmon. Which one is it? Salmon, like with an L? Like the fish?
The fish, I think.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who that man is.
Yeah.
Does anybody want Ernest Johnson? I think I paid like a ton of money for him and never got to play him.
I've been stewing.
What a turd burglar that guy is.
I've been stewing in my own gravy when I paid $13 for Carlos Hyde a couple weeks ago, but he finally paid me off tonight with a touchdown.
He did.
Awesome. All right, so let's go through this week's games. We can go through them kind of quick, but we got some intriguing, intriguing matchups. So,
Where are we starting?
I'm going to start at the bottom of the fantasy previews, and we'll work our way up to the game of the week. So that game would be Blackleg Craig at Derry Sanders. To be honest with you on this one, there's not a whole lot to talk about, although Jameis Winston probably not looking the best. But hey, you never know. He could throw 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Smitty doesn't have the strongest lineup this week, but I'm going to give the edge to Derry Sanders on this one.
Michael?
I think I'm going to give the edge to Derry Sanders simply because Blackleg Craig is actually starting the train to Crazy Town and Antonio Clown. That's not going to work. So given that he's likely to get a goose egg from that fucking idiot, we'll give the edge to Derry.
I don't know. He saw some targets last week, and remember, he's starting Antonio Brown, the football player, not Antonio Brown, the person. But still, I like me this week, especially, we're in the fourth quarter of the Thursday night game right now, and I got 2 touchdowns on the board with Lockett and Hyde. Craig's starting, the backup running back for New Orleans. I mean, I'm starting some shit bags, but like Latavius Murray, I don't know.
That's pretty rough duty.
Anyway, I got this one. This is a unanimous for Derry. Moving on. Big Cat.
Back nines matter versus Lord of the Slum. Well, hopefully he didn't start Chris Carson because that's going to be an issue.
He did.
Mike,
right, so Goldberg,
he did.
Mike Goldberg asleep at the wheel.
Goldberg, come on, man. You're giving Bussing my division, you son of a bitch. I want that putter back, you asshole.
Oh, there's a shocker. Another golf club out of the Mike Smith golf collection to someone at Pinehurst.
Did you get him a Peretti putter?
I would like one.
You'll have to ask Mike about that. Well, you have to stop being such a dickhead then, Taryn.
He's got the eye of the Jew.
So I'm going to still pick Lord of the Slum in this one because Bussing's team is not looking so hot. He's been getting carried by his defense all year, so I suspect that'll probably continue. But
I don't know. I mean, Buda Baker and Campbell are kind of laying eggs so far. I mean, there's some game time left, but these are not the 30-point nights that those assholes have been putting up all season. So
yeah, so I'm sticking with Mikey Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Mike.
And no, you go ahead. I'm still thinking about this one.
Yeah, I'm really upset that Mike started Carson, but looking at his bench
instead of DJ Dallas, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, he didn't have
Dallas
much.
Was actually playing.
He didn't have much else to do anyway, so what the fuck does it matter? I think he probably lost a delta of about 5 points with his bench guys.
5.2, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lord of the Slum here. Zeke has a great matchup. Kareem Hunt, 100-yard game last week. Jamal Williams, not great. I mean, you're starting another backup running back over here, but Mahomes is going to be out for blood on the Raiders. So,
yeah,
over on Bussing's side, I would not like to see him start Joshua Kelly. I would personally drop Malcolm Brown in that spot, and having Josh Reynolds on the bench.
Against the Bucs?
I mean, having Josh.
Nobody runs against the Bucs, dude.
Joshua Kelly.
I don't know.
Joshua Kelly doesn't play.
I know. I don't disagree. He's playing Adam Gase.
I think it's
retarded.
Yeah, I think it's a little foolhardy to leave Josh Reynolds on the bench, especially after how he's kind of played pretty well over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
In his last 4 games, he's been over 12 points 3 times, 3 out of 4 games. He's got 2 touchdowns, over 4 catches in 3 out of 4 games, and over 40 yards in every one. Last week versus the Seahawks, 8 for 94. So having that guy on the bench is a little questionable. But
So now you're coaching Bussing up on how to get his lineup in order so that he can win the.
he's chasing those.
Where
Willie,
were you with?
He's
Where
chasing
were
those
you
Willie
when
Snead points from
when
last week.
Goldberg had Carson starting? Yeah.
I was putting my kids to bed, dude. I was brokering trades in the factory of sadness. So anyway,
That we're not even going to touch that bullshit.
Fuck it. You know what? Bussing. I'm going Bussing. I'm changing my mind mid-pod. Bussing is going to take down Mikey. No.
I think I'm going to go. I mean, Bussing has got a lot of speculative plays that might work out at wide receiver, but like they might be spectacular fails. And if they are, the fact that Buda Baker is not having a big night and stuff like that puts him behind the 8 ball. I mean, Alex Smith is a lovely comeback story, and I don't mind anybody throwing balls against Cincinnati's defense, but the game script is just not going to be for Alex Smith to air it out in Cincinnati for Washington. And so I think he's way behind on points with against Mahomes, because I totally agree. I think Mahomes is going to light the Raiders on fire this weekend. It just seems like there's a lot of bad blood for the way the Raiders conducted themselves.
And they took that victory lap. I keep on hearing about the victory lap around the stadium.
I hear about the victory lap, and I think he's going to stuff that victory lap. He's going to give them the Patrick rate on their fucking anal insurance, just cram it up their asses. And then, Zeke and Kareem Hunt, I think, are going to have big weeks. And so I think that's a ton of points for Bussing to make up with that group of wide receivers, all of whom could blow up, but throw in some shitty weather and a tight game or something like that isn't a blowout, and the wide receivers just aren't going to get the volume. And so I think I'm going to lean Goldberg, and I have a vested interest in that outcome, and I'll admit that I'm also rooting for Goldberg actively this week.
Bussing, not to coach him up, but Cam Newton versus the Texans defense, who fucking suck, may be worth considering. Just saying.
I don't think Cam's. Oh, he's got him on the roster. I'll be different shit.
So Cam Newton versus the Texans. Really, I mean, Big Cal, where are you at with that?
I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. I don't know how you could start Alex Smith.
Also sucks quite a bit, and Cincinnati. I don't know. I think those guys. Those two starts are basically fungible.
The Redskins are going to try to win that game, though, and they're going to try to win it with defense, and they're going to try to win it by Antonio Gibson running the ball 34 times.
Yeah, but it's Belichick. Belichick might change quarterbacks.
Yeah, but Cam can run the ball.
He's such a dick.
He can run it. He has the third most rushing touchdowns in the league. He's got like 9 or something.
Yeah, he does run it in.
Right.
So he's kind of gotten himself back.
Next game.
All right.
Next game.
Moving on.
DJ Booga Sugar versus Sin City Mac Attack. I've actually been looking at this one for a while now.
What are you saying, Derek?
I can't imagine
as you guys are yammering on about God knows what.
You man.
So Clyde Edwards-Helaire is probably not going to play. Mac Attack's defense is solid, but can sometimes disappear. Aaron Rodgers actually has a tough matchup. So I'm going to lean DJ Booga Sugar here. But I'm not that lucky, so I doubt that'll happen. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm on Booga Sugar.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I am too.
I think because even if CEH doesn't go, they have Le'Veon Bell behind him, so they're fine. They're gonna have the starting running back in Kansas City. Kenyon Drake has already had a decent game tonight.
Yeah.
So I
Christian
like
Kirk has scored. KJ Wright's having an okay evening.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if Darius Leonard closes the season like he played all year last year.
Right. So I actually have this one going to Booga Sugar. I think he's going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like what Pittman is up to now that he's finally on the field for Cincinnati Mac Attack. But I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, I do not. I'll never believe in Ronald Jones. I think he's a clown. Rex Burkhead. I mean,
fucking guy ran for 192 yards last week, man.
I know, and he gets the Texans, but I mean, he stinks. And
No, not
not what
Burkhead. Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones had 192.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but he's gotten a lot better this year. He's been a consistent contributor. I just feel like that carousel is going to come to a screeching halt at some point. And then Rex Burkhead is another clown, but he's got a glorious matchup against Houston. He just has to hope that he doesn't get the Jonas Gray treatment, where you have a huge game and then don't touch the ball the next week, which is a classic Belichick douchey move. So. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. And AJ Brown, should produce. And good God, if he could get anything out of Godwin this week. I don't know. I think I'm going to lean Booga Sugar, but I would not be surprised to see Bill kind of pull this one out.
Yeah.
All right. Hulk hands at Beaver Tamers.
So I will.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Finally, Joe gets to be the husband in this relationship. He is going to lay the lumber to our lumber laying Dominic in the nastiest way. He's already got a touchdown from Metcalf. He's got 11 points out of Hopkins, which is not what Hopkins is capable of. But
this game ain't over yet.
Dom doesn't have the firepower.
Dom ain't going to keep up with that. So moving on.
Can't keep up with that. All right, next game.
Can you digs it at Bill Cosby sleepers? Brother on brother crime.
Cain and Abel. It's an old story. How's it going to play out, Big Cat? What happens in the Gabrielson household? Think back to some bullying days.
I tell you this, it's going to be kind of a fucked up Thanksgiving, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I don't really like a lot of my matchups here. But at the same time, I don't think Cooper Kupp is going to play. And it's kind of downhill from there. But the defense could be hit or miss, but probably not favoring Andrews. So even though I don't like to do it, I guess I'm going to have to pick myself on this one.
Yeah, samesies. I like the Damian Harris versus Texan matchup. Josh Jacobs is good against the Chiefs. It's hard to like starting Keelan Cole, but he's got a role in that offense. So I'm going to go with Diggs on this one. Strong linebacking core for Diggs too. So it's hard to go against anybody that starts Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams, but the Colts defense is good. And they're not going to hold that completely down, but I'll be surprised if both of those guys go for 25 points each, and if he doesn't get big points out of those two, what are we talking about here? Right.
Yep. I kind of think the same. He's gotten a nice night out of Chase Edmonds already, kind of offsets Kyler Murray. Cousins does have a pretty good matchup, sort of, but Dallas's shitty defense is kind of offset by their shitty quarterback. And so I'm not sure you have to score very many points to beat him, and that limits Cousins' upside. I think Jones and Devontae Adams have about as bad a draw as you can get. Indianapolis has a really good defense, and they don't have a explosive offense. It's getting more explosive with Pittman, but it's not an explosive offense. That game just doesn't feel like it's likely to shoot out. And so these are tough matchups, and I think Derek's going to put Bill Cosby out of his misery here this week.
Please do, Big Cat. Please take care of him.
As I said, I'm not that lucky. So we'll see. Tyler Lockett only scoring 16 points tonight is a lot less than I thought he was going to. But Kyler Murray, on a Thursday, coming off that horrific Bills game, he just doesn't have a lot in the tank tonight. So I think this is just about over.
Lockett's up to 20 points, by the way.
Oh, is he? I thought he went
Lockett's on my. No, he came back too. He's a warrior, right? He's a motherfucking soldier.
Oh, he's playing?
He's back.
Live scoring right now. It says 16.
20.0, 8 catches, 60 yards, and 1 11-yard touchdown.
Dog.
I'm putting the hurt in that black leg already. Fuck him.
All right, last
They're
game,
good.
and we'll wrap it up here. So, Team Mapletron at Team Traz. Dave, why don't you go first on this one?
Well, I really, really need Mapletron to win here. So I'm going to start off by saying that I am not not an objective observer here. So, but look, like I think Mapletron has guys with good matchups, right? I can't stand that you're starting Melvin Gordon and Mark Ingram, but Mike Davis
It's not likely to hold up. I just needed to
better
put
not.
players in the starting lineup.
I don't mind Mike Davis. I don't mind James Robinson, Claypool, Julio, Thielen. Like that's all good. Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey's so far and above the best tight end in the league, especially fantasy wise. It's out of control. So, if you can get down in there and work in Devontae Parker, go ahead and start Devontae Parker, Mike. Don't be shy. In
So he can post another 4 fucking points like the piece of shit's done for the last month.
Are you gonna fucking start Mark Ingram? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you trying to win, or are you just trying to sabotage me? So anyway,
I'm just going to try to put you in the ground.
Put Traz in the ground. Anyway, so the big concern here for Mike is Dalvin Cook running for 500 yards against Dallas.
Yeah,
it's possible. And Chubb doing the same thing against Philly. Although Philly's run defense is more stout than their pass defense, but Dalvin Cook could literally. I mean, he could run for.
Yeah, I mean, he could win the week by himself.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big concern. But if you can dodge that bullet, I like the rest of your team beating him out. So I got Mapletron in this one.
Derek.
So I was looking at the wrong live scoring. So I'm playing my brother in the other league too. So that's why I was a little bit off.
Oh, that's funny because I had Dave in the other league last week too.
That's crazy.
That is.
Fuck.
Yeah, sorry about
double
that.
dose of domination.
Double dong.
No, I got the ass to ass there.
Man, this is gonna be a close game.
Sure.
I think this has the potential to be a battle.
Yeah, it really does. I'm gonna have to lean Team Trask. I think it's really, really close. But I think his defense is awesome. So he's got Myles Garrett, he's got 3 good linebackers, and Joe Hayden I'm not in love with, but you can get some points out of there. So I'm going to use that as the tiebreaker. Sorry, Mike.
Dude, Myles Garrett
No. I
against Philly might have 5 sacks this week.
Yeah.
Like it's legitimately possible.
Mm-hmm.
Totally possible.
Yeah, that is among my many concerns. I mean, I think matchup wise, this is not good. I mean, I fortunately Tyler Boyd's got Washington. That may not matter, but that ought to limit his upside. So on the wide receiver side, Corey Davis has Baltimore. So I got a little bit of hope that maybe defensively his wide receivers will struggle, but that would they'd have to all score 0 to offset the massive days that Chubb and Cook are going to have. I think Tom Brady won't have any trouble with the Rams defense, although maybe he will. I mean, I think the Rams defense has been playing pretty well. I needed a 40-plus point game out of Russell Wilson, and that is clearly not going to happen with only a couple minutes left in this football game. Melvin Gordon has been a colossal failure this year, and one of my just enormous regrets on my roster. Mark Ingram is the other colossal failure on my roster. And then James Robinson, who has shockingly been incredibly productive. Thank you for that 12th round pick, Dominic. That was very helpful.
Because I was about to draft him too.
Yeah, I know you were. He's actually why I made the trade.
He's actually a good football player, though. He's good.
He's a very good football player.
He's good.
Yeah, but he isn't going to. I mean, unless he gets Miles Sanders lucky and breaks a 70-yard run because of a bad run fit, that dude's going to get like 6 points this week. And like I'm living off of that guy, and he's not going to score this week. So I am up a shit creek, I think. Although in that revenge game, it's possible that Kelsey is a beneficiary of the Chiefs wanting to really lay it to the Raiders. So, I mean, there's like a glimmer of hope, but not much of one. And then I've got, if I can get lucky and Dupree doesn't take the week off like he does frequently, The defensive matchup, getting two pieces of Pittsburgh's defense against Jacksonville, feels like there's some upside there. So if I get lucky, I got a shot. But the running backs, I don't think can offset his advantage. My wide receivers can't offset his running back advantage, I don't think. So I got Traz.
Should be a good one. I think it's going to be close. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of close
so.
games. The whole Canes game is going to be a mess, but the other ones should all be relatively competitive. At least they look that way on paper. So, you guys want to gamble?
Yep.
No. All right, you got some picks?
I got.
I got no picks.
All right, I got 6 picks.
All right,
Work them out.
I'm gonna mix in 2 college picks too.
let's hear it.
So my first pick is Washington football team -1.5. Not that I don't like the Bengals, but Joe Burrow struggles against pressure. In fact, I don't think he completed one single pass against the Steelers when they blitzed. The one thing that Washington can do well is play defense and get all up in that quarterback's ass with Chase Young. So I like the football team to actually hold off the Bengals this week, and Washington -1.5. I think that's a good bet. Next up, the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns beat bad teams. They beat them badly. The Philadelphia Eagles are a bad team. Browns -3. Fucking slam it. That's a good one. Browns are going to beat that ass this week. I like the Packers to cover versus the Colts. Packers -2.5. Or I'm sorry, Packers +2.5. Packers are getting points. I like the Packers to cover the 2.5. I like the Packers to win. So that's the Packers +2.5. Packers +114 on the money line. I just don't think that the Colts can score enough points. They're just not good enough. And Aaron Rodgers is good enough to beat that Colts defense. He has the weapons and he's good enough. Saturday action. Are you ready for this? This is a little bit of my intuition coming in. Ready, set, go. LSU starting a freshman quarterback on the road in Arkansas. Yes, Arkansas is not that great, but they play good defense. Freshman quarterbacks on the road in the SEC. Not a great bet. Oh, by the way, LSU's a favorite. Give me the home dog, Arkansas +2, and give me the under 62.5. Are you fucking kidding me? You think a freshman quarterback's going to go on the road?
13-6 game.
Yeah, exactly. So the Arkansas LSU under is a all-in best bet, and the Arkansas.
What's the over/under for turnovers in that football game?
I couldn't say.
I would bet
the
over. I would bet the over on that.
So yeah, that's my bets right there. That's a 6-pack of bets for you. I've been so hot. You could take a crap and a piece of tinfoil and sell it as earrings to Queen Elizabeth. Yes, it's true. My NFL picks. This is true. My NFL picks are 65% of the year.
Nice.
College football not as good.
Done.
I went 4-0 on the MAC last night.
Maction.
The Maction? You bet Maction? I
got to give it to Craig. Craig came at me with 4 bets. I was like, all right, man, I'll tell you. Boom, 4 in a row. Slammed
Wow. Nice work, Blackleg.
Yeah, I know.
Well played, sir.
That's all right. We gave it all back tonight on the Tulsa Tulane game because the Tulsa quarterback got hurt on the first drive.
Oopsie. Oops.
Goodbye.
Not a lot of depth in that Tulsa program, as it turns out.
No, their backup quarterback was so bad. It was unwatchable. He was worse than Mason Rudolph. Oh my God.
No one's worse than Mason Rudolph.
Oh,
Jacob Hollister with a nice little catch.
Mike, you're so far behind. Nope. Okay, they got it back. I also have the Seahawks -2.5 tonight. So.
All right, fellas. Well, good luck to everyone this week. We will be back at you soon as the playoffs are heating up.
Yeah, I'd say it's going to be a little tough to get one in next week. Probably fair to say that.
I think that's right.
But we'll be back the week after that.
Maybe we try to get something fast in there before Notre Dame kicks off on Friday or something like that.
I could probably do it Wednesday night.
Yeah, I could do Wednesday night.
We could do it. Yeah, I guess to recap what happened this week. I mean, because I do think that there are going to be some major implications once we get the results on Tuesday morning.
Does Notre Dame play Friday night, Mike?
Yes.
Fuck. I don't like that.
Stinky. Nobody likes it, but
They're gonna win. They're so
Nobody-
fucking good. They're so fucking good. They're gonna win it all this year. I don't want. Are you stopped recording, right?
No,
Shut
I
up.
will stop right now.
You're
No
good
one
enough.
wants to hear this.
Stop.
good enough.
Oh, no one wants to hear
You're
this
good
Goodbye,
shit.
everyone.
All right,
Happy
love you all.
Thanksgiving, bitches.
Kisses.